Okay, man. Well, I'm just going to tell you. Again, I know the law.
I'll tell you what, I'll arrest you and we'll find out.
Aviation's high audits. Today we're coming to you out of Fountain County in Indiana. No, man. Nope. No, thank you. Nothing. I'm just going over this way right now. I'm just doing my thing. I'm going to walk over this way. If you want to come with, you can come with. You want to follow? Sorry?
What are you trying to do?
I'm just doing my job, man. What are you doing?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh.
What are you filming?
Man, I don't answer questions, man. Are you a deputy?
Well, I was just curious on why you were looking at my vehicle, so.
Oh.
And my officer's vehicle.
Are you a deputy here? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you work in the jail?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just curious on why you were looking at my vehicle.
Yeah, I was just checking out, making sure nobody that's parked here needed to be in here, if you know what I mean. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Yep.
Hold on.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
On that side, you're fine. You can film everything you want.
Sorry.
I said on that side, you're filming. You can do anything you want. As soon as you come on this side, it's posted. Okay?
It's posted.
Yep.
I didn't see it posted.
It's right there. The law says it doesn't matter if you see it's posted either.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It needs to be around the area.
So let's think about this. So if you go walk on that land over there and you trespass, okay?
Okay.
Does it have to be posted?
Yeah.
It does not.
Yep.
State of Indiana.
Yeah, it does. In
It
the
does?
state of Indiana. Hey, man, brush up on the laws, brother.
Okay.
Trust me, this is what I do for a living, man. I know what I'm doing.
Really? So what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, I don't answer those questions, man.
Why?
Just because I don't know you. You know, who are you?
Well, who are you?
Exactly. You know, and that's the thing, man. You got to give to get.
Why not? I'm fine with what you're doing. First Amendment, that's awesome.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's fine, man. That's good. But no, in order, I mean, you got to brush up on the laws before you got to come out here telling me what I can and can't do, man. I mean, look, that posted restricted area. Not only is it posted, because if it's just posted and it's public and it's not actually restricted, it doesn't even matter, man. It's got to be restricted. That's a restricted area because I can't climb. I mean, I probably could climb the fence,
Yeah.
but it's got a fence.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't go in there. It's clear.
Okay.
There's no fence, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if it's a property, like a private property, if you don't want people, if you want it to be clear that, you know, nobody's allowed on your property, you've got to have signs posted within certain ranges of each other. All right.
So you're saying that you don't believe in personal property rights?
Oh, all I believe in is private
What
property.
gives you the right to go on somebody's private property?
I would never do that, man. I never said I did. I mean, is this somebody's private property here?
No.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
Good stuff,
You
man.
didn't have to. That's all I'm saying.
I was just saying, man, look, as far as I'm concerned, if it's somebody's private property, I don't give a damn what the law says. I believe they've got the right to protect their property.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all. That's why I don't go on people's private property. You know what I mean? Because, like, honestly, I don't agree with the law telling somebody what they can and can't do on their own property. But this is my property right here, man. This is
Don't
public
we
property.
have the right to provide a safe place for the people that are in here?
Oh, dude, this is the most unsafe place somebody could be.
Why's that?
Well, you got guys like you walking around it, keeping them in cages and telling them what they can and can't do, what they can and can't say, stuff like
Well, I can
that.
tell them what they can and can't say.
Well, I've read a lot of policies.
Oh, have you read them?
Yeah, for a lot of jails, and a lot of it
Have
says
you ever worked in a jail?
Have I ever worked in
Yeah.
one? I would never do that, man. These are my brothers and sisters that stay in here against their own will. They don't consent to any of this. And a lot of it, 70% of it, is there's no victim to the crimes. So why would I come and cage my brothers and sisters, my fellow Americans? Why would I do that? unless I hated freedom, but I don't. I love freedom. You know what I mean? That's my thing, man. I love freedom. So you guys are dismissed. All right. I don't need your names, really. I mean, I can see that you're probably an actual out here officer, huh? You're not a jail officer. What's your name and badge number, sir?
What do you think I am?
Right there.
Your name is right there.
Yeah.
It's your policy to state it just in case somebody can't see.
Not mine.
If they've got no, it is.
What's your name?
Oh, I don't give it, man. You're a public worker.
Okay.
So right
Well,
there.
You're unauthorized personnel property. If you read the sign right out there.
What do you think?
That is public property, man.
It says authorized personnel only.
This is public property, man. Why do you keep moving around
Why
me?
can't I
Is there
walk
something?
over here?
Do you have any weapons
I'm not
on you?
gonna.
Do you have anything on you that I should know about, man?
Yeah, see this, see that? I got all kinds of things.
Okay. Do you have any drugs or anything on you?
What's none of your business?
No.
No, it's none
That
of
sounds
your business.
suspicious to me, man. Do you mind if I just pat
Okay.
you down real quick?
Yeah, I do. You touch
Why?
me, you're gonna go to jail.
If I touch you, likewise, man. Don't touch me.
Hey, look, I'm Karen.
Good for you, man. I mean, when you're a public employee, there's no reason to have a gun on you. You know what I mean?
Really?
It's almost like you're wanting to
What-
attack the people you work
what
for. But what's your name and badge number, sir? I don't know if you can tell. I've got a vision problem. That's why your policy states you've got to state your name
My
and badge
policy
number.
states?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. I've read the Fountain County
Okay.
Sheriff's Department policy.
Well,
So
you're
why
not
don't
going to go me into an argument. So
I'm not. I'm asking
My
you
job
to
is to
do
protect.
your job. Tell me your name and badge number. Nah. Okay.
Hello?
So let me see it real quick. S. Baldwin. Where's the badge number?
An inmate at the Vermilion County Jail, Indiana, carried by Combined Public Communications. Three-way or call waiting is not allowed and may automatically disconnect this call. This call is subject to monitoring and recording. If you are an attorney or designated legal counsel, contact inmatesales.com at 702-931-3938 to have your number set to do not record. Please select from the following options if you consent to this call being recorded, and to accept this call, dial 1 now. To reject this call, dial 2 now. For help from an operator regarding calls from this facility, dial 7 now.
I pushed
Please
one.
select from the following options if you consent to this call being recorded, and to accept this call, dial 1 now. To reject this call, dial 2 now. For help from an operator regarding calls from this facility, dial 7 now.
Let's see if I can get Craig on. So I have his girlfriend set up a GoFundMe today. I'll put the GoFundMe
Thank you.
in the
You will
chat.
tell the caller.
It's right there. So if you have $20, $30, $40, $50, if you can put it in that GoFundMe, please do. He was found guilty, and damn it. Let's take a look at what Craig was found guilty of in Indiana. I'm trying to get through on the phones. We've been trying to get a hold of each other here, 2 or 3 phone calls now, and I can't get him. Okay, calling now. There it is.
This is a prepaid call from
Craig Hendry.
an inmate at the Vermilion County Jail, Indiana, carried by Combined Public Communications. Three-way or call waiting is not allowed and may automatically disconnect this call. This call is subject to monitoring and recording. If you are an attorney or designated legal counsel, contact inmatesales.com at 702-931-3938 to have your number set to do not record. Please select from the following options if you consent to this call being recorded, and to accept this call, dial 1 now. To reject this call, dial 2 now. For help from an operator, your call has been accepted.
Hello.
Craig, got you. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, brother. How are you doing?
Well, I'm thinking about you. I was doing other stuff today, and then I couldn't get you out of my head and what you're going through. So what can you tell the people exactly what happened this week when you went to trial and a little bit of the process you've been through since the beginning of this week?
Yeah, so we had a 3-day jury trial. The first day was largely selecting my jury. Of course, the trial was over a stalking charge and 2 harassment charges. Both of the accusations were against government employees while they were in their public capacity in public. So we got jury selection out of the way, and the state called 7 or 8 witnesses. Three or four of them were police officers, and a few more of them were just, one of them was an ex-sheriff here who I had never met, who just got up on the stand and basically told everybody that I'm a big problem. Even though he's never met me, he's heard of me, and I'm a terrible problem. And basically that was the trend throughout the whole trial, that they called witnesses, just witness after witness, who just basically attested that I was a bad person and that I caused problems, in their own words. We asked each witness multiple times, did I do anything? My lawyer was asking, did Craig do anything that threatened you or made you feel frightened, intimidated, or threatened? As that's the requisite under the stalking statute and the harassment statute. And each time we asked a witness if my actions or my words made them feel any of those feelings, they all said no. No, nothing that Craig did made me feel that. And then they got to talking about phone calls that they had received at the city hall that they say I harassed them at. And they're saying that simply because I posted videos on Facebook that included these government employees' persons, right? And it showed what these government employees did to me. Of course, we're dealing with a video where a cop pushes a phone out of my holder, out of my gimbal, and it falls to the ground. And, people got mad about it, so they called the city hall. And basically they said that nothing that I did made them feel frightened, intimidated, or threatened. But the calls that they received as a result of my video made them feel scared, frightened, intimidated, or threatened. And the jury, of course, they heard videos of me saying, fuck you, cop. And, I apologize for the language, but this is what I said in the videos. I was basically just being mean to police officers. And the jury, it's my opinion that the jury convicted me of I don't like you. But that's essentially what happened is they heard phone calls from other people and some of them were threatening. Like some of them were extremely threatening. And they're basically saying that I worked in concert with these people and that I caused those threatening phone calls to occur. Because I didn't cause them. I never made a threatening phone call. I never made a threatening gesture to anybody. All I did was go out in public, gather information, and publish that information online in the form of a video. And the jury convicted me of stalking and harassment.
Well, let's get it. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in 1 second, Craig. But if you guys could please, I just put the link for the GoFundMe that his girlfriend set up so that it goes directly to Craig's account. If you please donate right now, $5, $10, $20. We don't stop. He's going to hire an appellate attorney and he's going to fight the charges, but he can't do that without us. And I hope every single auditor in America will consider sharing Craig's GoFundMe because he's you right now. He's you inside of a cage, convicted of stalking. This could be Justin Pulliam, who does such great investigative work. He could be charged with stalking. He could be charged with harassment. It could be absolutely anybody. I just thought of Justin off the top of my head, so I'm not calling you out, Justin. I love your work, dude. So I'm sorry, Craig. So now let's talk a little bit about what you said. You were convicted of the charges. Can you read those charges to me and exactly what the convictions were, misdemeanor felonies, and how many charges you were convicted of?
Yes, I was convicted of 1 felony. That's what the stalking statute is, and 2 misdemeanors. That was harassment. And I want to talk a little bit about the misdemeanor. The 1 misdemeanor, they said I harassed, and when it comes to who I harassed, they said the city of Clinton employees. They didn't actually choose a specific person. They just said, oh, he harassed the employees at large. So I don't even know how that's going to work out. But Chili, I hope that auditors take attention to this, and they really do. I mean, even if they don't share it, I hope that they understand what precedent this sets. If you go in and you publish, videos and pictures of public employees online, the precedent this has set is that you can be charged with a crime for that constitutionally protected activity. It doesn't just affect me. And we've got sentencing on December 17th. So on December 17th, the world will find out what the government is willing to do to people who go and exercise constitutionally protected activities. But, my head has been everywhere since the start of this trial because I saw their tactics. So, that's pretty much what I have to say about it, unless, you've got some questions for me and I can answer some questions. But, when it comes to thinking about this stuff, my head is just absolutely in a spiral right now.
So there's 2 misdemeanors, but there's no felony convictions here.
No, there is. There is a felony conviction. It's a stalking.
The stalking is a felony.
Conviction, yeah.
And the two harassments are misdemeanors.
That's right. But it's double jeopardy to sentence me on this, because the stalking and harassment statute, they're the same statute. They're just, one is a felony and one is a misdemeanor,
So now what do you want to do? You want to hire an appellate attorney, is that right?
Well, what we're going to do is, since we have, my attorney did a great job. Elizabeth Smith did an absolutely great job. But try convincing people who love their government that you're allowed to criticize your government. That's a tall order. And so what we're going to do is we're going to allow Elizabeth to take this to the appeals court. She knows this case better than anybody. And she's a very competent attorney. And she is going to get with me soon and give me a price for all of this. But as of right now, I still owe her $5,000 for the jury trial. And we, the transcript, we have to pay for the 3 days worth of transcribing, which here in Indiana, I don't know how, if you had to pay for it in Las Vegas, but here in Indiana, we have to pay $50 an hour for a court reporter to transcribe that court hearing. So that alone is going to cost thousands of dollars on top of the fee for the appellate charge. So it's going to be a tall order to it, but we are going to do this thing no matter what. And, with everybody's help, it'll make it a lot easier. But come hell or high water, this is getting appealed.
Well, I put your GoFundMe in the comment section, and Craig, I'm thinking of you, man. I sent you another book called Fountainhead, so I hope you'll get that. And I think by day after tomorrow, you should get that book I sent you. So I hope you're at Atlas Shrugged.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm just doing what I can do.
Thank you very much.
I just hope that I'm just the pebble that, because there's a whole larger 1A community of people who do what you and I do, which is we go out and we film cops. We put ourselves right in the line. We go out and we film the interactions with public officials. There's people like us out there, and that's who I really kind of consider that would be considered the 1A community. People who go out and put their feet on the ground and film police. That's what I consider. Even if you go into post offices or libraries or wherever you film, when you know that interaction is going to end with a police interaction, then I consider you part of this 1A community, right? So in my perspective, I hope that I'm just the pebble that kicks this GoFundMe down the road so that other auditors can go, you know what? This could be you. Because can you I know there's videos that match up with this. I just can't pull them all up right now. But can you just fill me in a little bit on why you're charged with a felony of stalking and kind of go blow by blow here on the details of how they were able to say that you stalked somebody as a journalist to try to do what? I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, Chili, they didn't really accuse me of doing what most people would think is conventionally stalking, right? So they literally just accused me of being around her multiple times, which I was. I went to the city hall, and I was in her vicinity multiple times. And they're claiming that I made impermissible contact with them, which, of course, we know is nonsense because anything in public anything in public with public officials, you have permission via the Constitution to go and ask public officials questions, right? So, but anyways, then they're saying that my actions had to make her feel frightened, intimidated, terrorized, or threatened. And they're saying not that my actions did that, but that the actions of my callers, that the words of the callers that called after watching my video, they're saying that made them feel terrorized. And that was the word they used, terrorized.
They were terrorized by you.
They say that I intended for people to call and terrorize them, which of course, I have no interest in people calling and threatening anybody. I'm a very peaceful individual myself. I think that anybody who's watched my videos can see that. And I'm usually extremely polite to people all the way up until they become, brash with me, then I kind of meet their energy.
Sure. Hold on real quick. Craig, hold on for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I was rushing to get online with you, and I didn't set up a cup of water here for myself when my mouth gets dry from talking. So, y'all, this is a fundraiser for Craig Hendry, who is a First Amendment auditor, and he's being charged with stalking for simply going to the same meetings that a public official went to, and that public official testified that they were terrified of Craig Hendry. So then people called into the government offices and said mean things to those people. So then they held Craig responsible for that. They've convicted him of a felony. So his girlfriend, who has his kids, right there, put together a GoFundMe, and there's the link right there in the chat. So jump off here for 5 minutes, put in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 100, put in some money for Craig, for his appellate attorney, please, because he needs somebody to advocate for him. He's in a dungeon. And that money goes directly to Craig's account. Boom, just like that. That way that link can be shared between other First Amendment auditors who also have...
This call will be terminated in 2 minutes.
Face persecution, like Craig is. So anyway, Craig, we got 2 minutes left apparently. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or say in the last 120 seconds?
All I can say is I appreciate all the support I got up till now, but they won round 1, and we need to win round 2. And all that I can ask is that, I get a little bit of support. I know that, like I said, come hell or high water, I'm going to be working from inside. Tyler is helping me work on the outside. Eric is helping me by keeping my kids healthy, fed, with a roof over their head. And all I can do is thank the people I've got helping me. Thank you, Chili, for getting this word out here, man. This sets a precedent for everybody that wants to exercise their rights. This absolutely could be you. They prosecuted this case with the direct intent.
This call will be terminated in 1 minute.
So with that being said, Chili, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all your supporters of Team DLZ.
Yeah.
God bless you. I'm going to get off of here.
Did you get how much of Atlas Shrugged did you read?
Sorry?
Have you read all of that?
The book I got is 1,076 pages. I am at 930 something. So I'm almost to the end. It's a brilliant book. Highly recommended.
Oh yeah. Well, you and I have a lot to talk about. I'll let you go. Love you, buddy. You have support from out here in the world. All right. We're thinking about you.
God bless. Okay. Much love to everybody. Take care.
Take care, Craig. Bye, buddy.
Take care.
That's what's up. So here's his GoFundMe right there. I'm going to put his GoFundMe down there. That GoFundMe was set up by his girlfriend, Erica, who they live together, have kids together, co-parent. So, let's put some money in there for him. Let's put $20 in. Let's put $15 in. Let's put $50 in. Let's put some donations into his GoFundMe. If you have it and you can, GoFundMe is at $10. We could set a goal and try to hit a goal. We got to get a couple $100 in there at least. I mean, I didn't really have the chops this morning as I was doing a bunch of things, but let's see what his. Let me refresh this bad chicken. Oh no, there's money's going in there. There's money going in there. Let me see what you guys can see. Okay. Let me blank this out real quick so you guys can't see and this is for all the people who donated to me, because you never have the money to donate. You never do. Right? I mean, can we all agree on that? You never have the money. You never have extra money to give away to somebody else and you don't get anything back from it. You don't have that money. But let me see because one of my cards got canceled and I don't know if that's the card attached. There it is. So, I'm just doing a little bit that I can do. So, I can tell you I'm not doing as well as I was before I went to jail. But at the same time, if I can, I put in 100, can anybody match any amount of that? Can anybody put in, because I don't have $100 to give away right now. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying is nobody has money and they're like, you know what, I could just lose this money and I don't care, right? Because we all do. We all, especially right now, right before Thanksgiving, we all need money. But this cat is in a dungeon, so I put money in that I don't have because I think we should. I think that we all should. You should put in money you don't have, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50, and get a start for this guy. Get a good start for him. That's where my head and where my heart is. Because typically when you are a YouTuber and you go on YouTube, you want to sell. I want to sell cup cards. So I want your budget to go to buy my products, because that's what capitalism is. And you only have so much money. Anybody here, gazillionaire? Anybody? Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it, dude. Life Under a Microscope. You can Venmo me if you only have Venmo and put on there Hendry, and then I'll put your money into that GoFundMe. But you should just give money directly to the GoFundMe. That would make it a lot easier for me, so I don't have to sit there and do shit. But that's where I'm at. So that's all I'm saying. You donate to his GoFundMe. He has a GoFundMe right here. That is the GoFundMe right there. I put it in the comment section. There it is right there. I think everybody should donate to Craig Hendry. I think it's important. And since we're live, I do have a couple of videos. Craig, listen, to Craig's family, I know what it's like. I understand. I understand what it's like. I understand what you're going through. To Craig, when you get out and you see this, I know exactly what you're going through. And to anybody else who will share the GoFundMe link, that would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's not going to be up to date. It's not going to be up to date. It'll take a while to populate. Yeah, now we're at 220. So there it is. Hopefully he gets some money in there, and but it's really tough when you're in jail. You're treated so shitty. You're treated so awful. It is such a horrible place to be. It is so horrible to be in that place. Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll show this, but it's so crazy to me how you can show this, but you can't show. I don't know why some things get blurred and why other things don't. So this here, on this video, they don't. Cool. Listen, everybody, make sure you give to Craig Hendry. If enough people, there's going to be 5,000 or 10,000 people that see this video. So hopefully you saw what you saw. Craig Hendry is a freedom fighter. He's not perfect. None of us are. At the same time, though, he hasn't done anything to be locked in a cage. So that's my plea for you to donate money to him that you probably don't have. That you probably don't have. And now this video is super intense. I'm just going to warn you now.
Hey, they said they did an entry. We had to go in there.
Yeah, we have to. Hey, let me see. All the way over broken window and break this. Kick it!
Metro police! Metro police!
Okay, so that's a weird picture, right? That's a weird picture. So obviously you're not a mature enough audience. You're not allowed to see this. You're not allowed to see it. God bless you for putting in 20, Jeff. But the guy on the right, if you're looking at it, the guy on the right in his underwear, he is the homeowner. The night before this, that same intruder right there had broke into his house, and this cop right here had ran that guy off. But in this particular video right here, that copper, what he's going to do is he's going to kill.
Hey, hands off the knife!
Shoots him in the face, and then as the guy's crumbling to the ground with his arms wrapped, just completely, he's gone. He shoots him 4 more times as he hits the ground. It's absolutely incredible.
Put your hands up!
We have new details about what led to a police shooting and killing of a homeowner who called 911 for help. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Our 8 News Now investigators breaking the news that the Metro police officer who shot and killed 43-year-old Brandon Durham was called to the same home the night before for an incident involving the same people.
So here's what we know. Late on November 10th, Durham called 911 to report that 31-year-old Alejandro Boudreau was trespassing. So as we first told you, Officer Alexander Bookman responded, noted that Boudreau had left Durham's house. But then the next night, Durham called 911 again, saying people were shooting, breaking into his home. Well, that night, Officer Bookman shot and killed Durham after entering the property as Durham.
I hate to spell it out here, but 10th, 11th, 12th. Durham calls 911 to have Boudreau trespassed. Early on November 11th, Bookman notes Boudreau left Durham's house. Early on November 12th, Bookman shoots, kills Durham. That's a lot of contact with the same copper who
struggled with Boudreau over a knife.
This call is giving us some more information about the relationship between Brandon Durham and Alejandro Boudreau and what the officer who killed Durham did the night before at the same house.
They were friends at first.
43-year-old Brandon Durham calls 911 the night before a Las Vegas Metro police officer would shoot and kill him.
I need this person. I got a trespasser. Me and my kid are here, man. This person won't leave. This kind of big old black guy, kind of crazy. So.
Okay, where is he at?
In my garage. I turned into a man cave.
Documents revealing Durham wants police to trespass 31-year-old Alejandra Boudreau. Durham referring to Boudreau as a man, although she identifies as a transgender woman. These booking photos show Boudreau from prior arrests in Florida. Records the 80s investigators obtained revealing police in Seattle arrested Boudreau as recent as this April. She listed her address as a homeless shelter. Police say Boudreau and Durham met about a month ago on a dating app.
I got a house guest. Some guy kind of just won't leave, and so I was like, I don't want to get into issues. I'm like, I'm gonna ask him to leave, but I'd rather just use the authorities to make sure.
Okay, so you want to trespass?
Yeah.
Bookman responded to the call with documents revealing he was.
So he goes to the very first call to trespass the trans person.
The one who signed off on a positive outcome, writing, friend agreed to leave, called Uber to airport. 24 hours later, Bookman will be back at the house as.
Wait a minute. Doesn't he know that there's already some weird shit? And doesn't he know who the complainant was?
Boudreau broke in Durham called 911 again, 14 seconds after breaking down the.
And then he shoots him right in the face, and they show it and everything, and it's on Channel 8 CBS. How come Channel 8 CBS can show it, but I can't show it? Because he shoots him right in the face.
Door.
See right there. I'm trying. I hate censorship. I hate censorship. I hate this.
Bookman would shoot.
There it is. So these.
And killed Durham.
He shoots him right in the face, right there. So that's the chick who claims to be a him because he's calling him him. And then this right here, this dude in the lit up in the flashlight on his face, Bookman, the guy holding the gun, he knows that he had this chick trespassed yesterday. But he's got the knife. So he took the knife away from her, or he's got the knife, so that means he has to be killed because he has the knife?
What we don't know right now is what
we don't know right now.
Conversations, if any, Bookman had with Durham and Boudreau the night before, when Boudreau did eventually leave for the airport and then come back. We've requested Bookman's body camera video from that night, and we are waiting for that right now.
So they circle the knife like, look, the copper had to do it. That was part of his thing right there. He had no choice.
We were called to come check on your son.
Okay, yeah, he's on my phone in the bathroom for like an hour.
Can I come in and talk to you?
Sure, yes. What is going on?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
She said he's been on the phone in the bathroom for an hour. Called to check on your son.
So we were called to come check on your son.
Called to check on your kid.
Okay, yeah, he's on my phone in the bathroom for like an hour.
Been in the bathroom for an hour. The kid's been in the bathroom.
Can I talk to you?
Sure.
Oh.
Sure, yes. What is going on?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, you just handed it to me.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
You found this stuff, right? Where did you find it at?
Under the nightstand.
On accident?
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Under the nightstand.
What's that?
Under her nightstand.
Under her nightstand. So that would be in the bedroom that she sleeps in?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your house?
My house.
So
I don't know why you're here.
Well, do you have an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband? Baby daddy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. He called because he wanted us to check on your son. He was concerned that there was some stuff going on, that he was FaceTiming your ex. What's his name?
My ex-husband? Tony.
Tony. He was FaceTiming Tony. He was concerned about his welfare.
There's nobody here.
Well, you're here.
Yeah, no, but what was the concern is what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I guess when he was on FaceTime with Tony, he was showing Tony this stuff that he found in the house.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I don't either.
And what did you find inside the house that made you scared? Okay. Do you know what drugs look like?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So where were the drugs at?
Underneath the nightstand.
Underneath the nightstand? Okay. Gotcha. Do you ever seen anything like that here before?
No.
So the kid calls the cops on his mom.
No? Okay.
And how did you recognize that? Like, what did you think when you saw it?
I just saw a couple baggies. I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
Pull it out, and then that's when I knew what it was.
Yeah, from like TV and stuff.
What?
Like you thought, like maybe it was drugs from like TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And you got scared and you called your dad.
Yeah.
And what did he say? Call the police.
Yeah.
Oh, so the mom and the dad are in a custody fight. And so when the kid finds the mom's stash under the nightstand, he calls his dad and says, "Hey, Dad, I just found this bag with this stuff in it." And the dad says, "Call the police." So then the kid calls the cops, weaponizing police.
Yeah.
He comes running out. I heard you guys at the door, and we were right there together.
So you didn't see that he had that in his hand?
No, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what anything about it was happening.
So what we're going to do, obviously, we're going to test it and make sure to discover what it is.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it looks probably like methamphetamine, you know.
What is that?
You know what meth is.
Like speed or whatever. Like, I mean,
Come on.
Oh, man. Look at the position she's in, and she's got the cop in her house.
What happened?
Everybody knows what meth is. You watch Breaking Bad. I mean, Jesus.
I have never seen Breaking Bad.
Well, you should.
You should watch that series.
That's a pretty large amount of
I
methamphetamine.
don't know what you're.
That's a pretty large amount of methamphetamines.
Like, honestly, I've been
So-
sitting here talking to the other one this whole time.
Right.
And I don't have any idea what this is.
Okay.
I don't have.
But this
any
is your
idea.
house.
This is my house.
Right. That's your cup right there, right?
This is my everything.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So the legal standard usually is that this is your house, that everything in the house that you have possession over. And if we get something that you can technically be responsible
This is
for.
not, if this is drugs or whatever, this is not mine, and I don't know what else to tell you.
So would you be willing to take a urine test?
I'm
See-
not willing to do anything. I had a.
Well, I'm just
trial.
asking you.
No.
So you wouldn't be willing to do a urine test tonight
No, nothing.
for any
because of-
like methamphetamines, cocaine?
I'm not willing to do anything right now because my ex-husband put.
Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. This is the whole reason why I created the Fifth Amendment cop cards, the Fifth Amendment trifold. When the police are there questioning you about some sort of criminality, you invoke your Fifth Amendment right. Go to my website, deletelaws.com. I got Fifth Amendment trifolds. I got Fifth Amendment cop cards. I mean, like, what's she doing? You think you're going to give him any good answers right now? He feels like he's your daddy. And that you're under his thumb and that you'll answer his questions. You answer one, you have to answer the next one. It's ridiculous.
But if you're asking you,
No.
so you wouldn't be willing to do a urine test tonight
No, nothing.
for any
because of-
like methamphetamines, cocaine?
I'm not willing to do anything right now because my ex-husband put so many.
But if you're clean, it's going to help your case, though.
I don't. Why do I have a key?
So just because we've been here for a while now and we've restricted your movement, that you do have the right to remain silent.
Oh, man.
Uh-huh. If you give up that right, you can say anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law.
Hold on.
I just want to read this to you. Since we're restricting your movement,
shit.
you're not allowing you to go upstairs.
Oh, okay. No, honey, you're going in cuffs next.
But at this point, you are going to be placed under arrest.
I told you you're going in cuffs next.
Possession of
but I
controlled
don't-
substance.
I'm literally on.
I understand.
I
You can disagree all you want.
Kid calls you cops to your house. You're in your own home. And you get arrested for drugs in your nightstand. Who's with me here? Who's with me that this government overreach? If she has drugs in her house and she's not dealing them out of her house, and she's got some drugs in her house, Kid didn't call and say, my mom tried to give me this. That wasn't the phone call. Phone call was, there's this in the house. Okay. So we're going to come there and arrest your mother? That's exactly what the dad wanted to happen. That is some morbid ass right there. I don't know if it would be Mims versus Ohio. We could take a look at that. We could read the case. But wow. That, I mean, this is crazy. This is like, and look at her put her hands over her face like I'm living a nightmare right now, because she is.
Allowing you to go upstairs. But at this point, you are going to be placed to the right. You can say your movement that you do.
What did I tell you right here? I said she's going in cuffs. Didn't I say that?
You have the right to remain silent.
Me?
If you give up that right, you can say anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law. I just want to read this to you. Since we're restricting your movement, you're not allowing you to go upstairs. But at this point, you are going to be placed under arrest for possession of controlled substance. I understand. You can disagree all you want. That's fine.
I don't understand this.
Okay. Well, your child found a bag of what
oh my God.
presumptively tested positive for methamphetamine under your nightstand. That's your right to say that. But the way our laws work, if we have reason or probable cause to believe that a crime occurred and you're within we can make that arrest. So,
wow.
You have shoes?
I know. I don't understand this. Like, literally, who can I talk to? Your sergeant or something?
No, he's taking you to jail. Nobody can stop him. There's no third party to come in and say, no, wait a minute. This is this family, dad versus mom, in a custody battle.
This is not my stuff. This is not, I did not do a crime. This is not anything. I'm honestly going to tell you who I think is in my, I can tell you who I think it is. It has access to my house.
She's willing to tell on somebody else because it's not hers.
Not understanding what's happening right now.
You're going to jail. Don't make any further statements.
This is not.
But you and your son live here. You told me
I have a boyfriend that has access to my front door.
Right.
I don't know this guy this well. However,
but he has access to your front door. You're digging a hole.
This is, do I give you his name? I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You gonna blame it on your boyfriend?
This is not mine. I don't.
But you even said yourself you really wouldn't want to take a drug test.
I don't know what I'm
You started answering questions.
supposed to do right now.
Well, I can't give you advice on what to do.
But I'm not a crime. I didn't commit a crime.
Well, it's possession of a controlled substance.
Wow, coming into your house now. This is crazy.
It's in your house. This is your house.
This is not my. I don't even know this was here.
What the hell? But coming into your house?
I can't even understand or fathom the fact.
Oh no, you're going in torture cuffs.
That this is drugs in my house.
She's going in torture cuffs. That's what's happening to her. They're going door to door now to check you for chemicals. And if you test dirty, you're going to do a mandatory pinprick of blood. And they're going to test your blood just like your blood sugar. And if you test positive for THC or any kind of methamphetamine, or if you test positive for alcohol at too high of a level, well, then you're too drunk at home. So we're going door to door from now on to take you down. That's you're going to jail. And if your ex calls, we're going to make sure we arrest you so that you lose custody of your kid. You're in your own home. You're not pushing this shit on your kid, but your kid found some shit. And so now we're going to ruin your life. Am I wrong? Am I incorrect? They are ruining her life. She wasn't out on the town. She wasn't dealing chemicals out of her house. She wasn't, right? Just trying to make sure we're all on the same page here. Are we all seeing the same things? That was pretty much like one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen on in a custody battle, because put a 1 in the chat if there's a custody battle going on. I just want to see what you guys think. Put a 1 in the chat if you think there's a custody battle going on between that woman and her ex-husband. For that kid. Of course there is. Of course there is. Absolutely 100%. Of course there is. There's a custody battle going on. Oh man. I had a couple of videos that I wanted to watch today, but I really just wanted to do a fundraiser for Hendry, and then I was going to go back to putting this wall together that I'm putting up right here. But I could watch this judge again one more time. We could watch this judge a little bit. It's pretty entertaining as far as, yo, thanks for the super chat. What's up, Rising Tides? What's going on? Thanks for the super chat. Oh yeah, you sent me a video. We could watch that video too. It's in my history. Let me pull this bad chicken up.
You can walk your happy ass from one part to the other. You just said I drive. I drive. You said the magic words.
I was a driver.
Come on. Don't be Helen Keller. Come on.
Don't be Helen Keller. He doesn't know who Helen Keller is. Sorry, he doesn't.
You want to travel? Take those 2 feet to travel, not in a car.
Just what the 14th Amendment was saying, like I have the right to travel.
You do. Yes, and you can walk your happy ass from one part to the other part. Not in a car, though.
That's why I travel very cautious. I don't.
You just said I drive.
I'm saying I
I
travel
drive.
very
You
cautious.
said the magic words.
I was a driver.
Come on. Don't be Helen Keller. Come on.
Yeah, but under common law, or is it military and tribune? Because also with
Oh, I've been waiting for something like this for so long. This is so much fun.
I'm just trying to see this political.
I mean, you want every single witness in Harris County? That's what that's asking for.
to properly represent myself for the case.
That's 4.2 million people. Really? Really? I mean, you're saying a true and complete original and or certified copy of the alleged is not even spelled correctly.
I guess he wasn't quite as lenient on that one as he is on the other ones. Rising Tide. What's up, Lou? What's going on, Playboy? Where's Chevy? Les OTVO. Jeff Millman. What is going on? Geo, good citizen. What is going on? Oh, my channel got hacked. I thought it was kind of yesterday's news. We're not there anymore. What's going on, Joel Juffus? What is going on, Maddie? Levi Audits. Mountain Mover. Oh, Mountain Mover earlier. I got explicit permission from him to have that phone call like that. I checked and double checked on text message with him. Are you sure you want me to do this? Because this got me put into a bad position. So you know what I'm talking about, Mountain Mover. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, because I thought the same thing. Like, hey, you're gonna get thrown in the you know what I'm saying? So Balloon Thief, who is a troll, put a funny joke though. Trolling has its place. So Balloon Thief said, I was in live chat prison. No one visited. No one sent me balloons, trifles, or lip balm. What's going on, Lezo TVO? What is going on? Why do you automatically say it's not hers? I don't know if I automatically say it's not hers. It doesn't matter. You should be able to have things in your own house without the government coming into your house because someone in your house called, and then what? You weren't doing anything wrong. It's too far. It's gone too far. There's no way that you can accept that. There's no way. No good person could look at that and go, yeah, the government should be able to come into your house and you know, I started to watch this and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I don't know if you guys want to watch it or not. We can watch it, I guess. I mean, we can watch it if you guys. We could watch this. So this is a Terry Stop Flop. Terry Stop Flop. That's what this is called. And we could watch this bad chicken. I want to watch it anyway. Terry, stop, flop. And this is cop kills unarmed man trying to catch a bus. Immunity is toasted, $1.4 million settlement. I mean, it's got some views. It's got some comments. I thought, you know what, might be interesting. So I kind of started it, and then I was like, well, I can watch it with you guys.
Okay, when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. May it please the court, Lois Boback for Tested Police Officer Villarreal. This is a tragic case. There's no question about that. But Officer Villarreal was required to make a split-second life and death decision.
What required
A split-second decision. It's always a split-second decision.
him to do that? It doesn't look to me as though he was the initiator.
The fact that Mr. Herrera, first of all, he had been acting erratically before the shots were fired. He kept his hand in the front pocket of his hoodie sweatshirt. He moved from a place of relative safety on the shoulder of the road into the roadway. He was skipping
But if we're
backwards.
talking about Officer Villarreal, how much did he know about the prior behavior?
He saw all of that. He saw.
I looked at the dash cam from the two vehicles. His is the second vehicle that arrives, correct?
Correct.
So he didn't see all of it.
Well, he said that he saw Mr. Herrera on the shoulder of the roadway because he could see that before Officer Miali's car blocked his view of Mr. Herrera. So he saw him on the shoulder of the roadway with his hand out of his pocket. Then he saw him when he moved in front of Officer Miali's car out of a position of relative safety into the roadway. He saw him skipping and running backwards in the street, all the while holding his hand in his pocket.
I have to say what you're saying is inconsistent with what I saw on his own camera. That is to say, the point at which he began to get close.
Look at the date of this, March 7th, 2016. And then this came out 4 months ago, $1.4 million settlement. So 2016 to 2024, that's how long it took them.
To see anything, some of that earlier stuff was on the other camera, but not on his.
Well, I don't recall at what point his camera was turned on, but
His
he
camera
testified.
his camera was turned on well before he got to the scene.
He testified in deposition that he saw Mr. Herrera on the side of the road, and then he saw.
Well, he can testify to what he wants to testify to, but I want to tell you what I saw on his own camera tells me that the early part of this he did not see, could not see.
I understand your point, Your Honor. He certainly was able to see Mr. Herrera in the street.
Oh, sure.
And he saw him with his hand in his front pocket. He saw him, and he knew he didn't start in the street, so he knew he must have come from somewhere. But he had his hand in the front pocket of his hoodie. He was acting strangely. I mean, he was skipping backwards in the street. He was running backwards in the street. And then as the officers moved to box him in, the moment at which he had to make his decision, at the time that he ordered Mr. Herrera to take his hand out of his pocket or to show his hand, his intention was, once the hand was out of the pocket, assuming that Mr. Herrera had calmly stood where he was and moved his hand out of his pocket, his intention was to put Mr. Herrera into a control position, to get him down on his knees or down on his stomach on the ground.
You see, none of them bat an eye when saying the cop wants to get him down on his knees or down on his stomach. And to them, that's perfectly fine because it never happens to them.
Stood where he was and moved his hand out of his pocket. His intention was to put Mr. Herrera into a control position, to get him down on his knees or down on his stomach on the ground so that they could take him into custody.
That was his intention, you say?
That was his intention, and that's in his deposition.
Again, I'm relying on what's on the videotape, and now this is in Officer Villarreal's car. I hear him say, "Take your hand out of your pocket," and I hear the gunshot almost simultaneously.
Exactly.
They cannot be separated by more than a second.
And that's exactly the time period when Officer Villarreal had to make his decision. Before he was asked in deposition, well, what were you
He had to shoot him the second he asked him to take his hand out of his pocket.
going to do when you asked him to take his hand out of his pocket? Well, I was going to put him in a control position. That's what he intended to do.
So
but instead he killed him.
He's taking his hand out of his pocket,
Yes.
And as he's obeying the officer's command, he gets shot.
But it's the way that he does it, Your Honor. He didn't just stand still and take his hand calmly out of his pocket. As soon as he began to take his hand out of his pocket, he also moved quickly toward the front windshield, the front passenger window of Officer Villarreal's car, and brought his hand up in an arcing motion. That's when Officer Villarreal had to decide, is he doing this peacefully? Or does he have something in his hand that could be a threat to me and is my life in danger?
Well, right.
He had a fraction of a second to make that
Don't we have to
decision.
view this in the light most favorable to the plaintiff here? I mean, and so if we do what you just said right now, offer two possibilities. He did it peaceably or he did it in reaction. And so I'm just struggling with, in light of the standard that we have, here, Mr. Herrera was arguably complying with Officer Villarreal's order to remove his hand from his pocket at the time that he was shot. So if that is the case, how is it that we determine that we should grant qualified
Because
immunity?
qualified immunity allows for police officers to make mistakes. It allows for the possibility that officers will make mistakes in judgment. And that's exactly what happened here. Officer Villarreal had a choice to make. Do I wait and see whether there's something in the hand that could kill me, or do I shoot? And he made the decision to fire. We know with the benefit of hindsight, obviously, that was wrong.
Is it significant that is it Miali?
Miali.
Didn't fire? Chose not to
no,
fire? I mean, it seems like he had a better vantage point possibly than Mr. Villarreal.
He actually didn't, for these reasons.
He needed to shoot him. Don't you understand that, Your Honor? He was unarmed, but the way he pulled his hand out of his pocket was too aggressive.
First of all, well, I'll answer your question directly, and then I'd like to go back to the standard. Officer Miali was facing, from his point of view, he saw Mr. Herrera's back, not Mr. Herrera's front. So he couldn't see, and he testified in his deposition that he couldn't see Mr. Herrera's hands as they were coming out of his pocket. He also, if he had fired, he would have fired toward an apartment complex. Officer Villarreal fired toward a block wall. Officer Villarreal didn't fire in the direction of anyone other than Mr. Herrera. Mr. Miali would have had to fire potentially in the direction of, in the videos you can see that there are other cars. So there are other people that could have been hit by a bullet from Officer Miali's gun. But aside from that, Your Honor, the standard is whether or not it was objective reasonable, whether or not every reasonable.
And what does objectively reasonable mean? What the crime, the severity of the crime that they're accused of doing, and the dangers that they pose to the officer now.
Police officer faced with exactly the same circumstances that Officer Villarreal faced would have concluded that firing under those circumstances would have been a violation of the Fourth Amendment. The fact that one reasonable officer decided not to shoot, and his circumstances are slightly different, but the fact that one person decided not to shoot doesn't mean that it wasn't objectively reasonable for Officer Villarreal to shoot.
I guess the issue I'm having here is that these are arguments, in my mind, for a jury. That certainly you can lay these out, but we're at a very limited scope here. This is not jury redo. We have to determine based on the facts as alleged by the plaintiff. And right. they're gonna say, no, it was, he simply had his hand in his pocket and these officers were coming up on him really strong. They created the tension. They rose the adrenaline, not him. You have to lay out, take their facts, not the facts as you want. You gotta stick with their facts and explain why under their facts, you win as a matter of law.
I agree, Your Honor.
And right now we're talking about your facts.
As long as
stick with theirs.
As long as the historic facts are undisputed, the question of whether or not Officer Villarreal's actions were reasonable is a question of law. It's not a question that you give to a jury because we don't want juries second guessing the very, very difficult life and death decisions that officers have to make.
I agree, but at this stage, again, this is not an argument to a jury. For us to even have jurisdiction over this case at this stage, we have to accept their version of the facts. So you need to explain under their versions of the facts why, as a matter of law, you win.
Under their version of the facts,
yes.
Nobody.
Let me ask you a question. Put a one in the chat if you automatically don't trust the cops story. Put a 1 in the chat if you automatically do not trust the cops story. His version of things is going to be a little bit skewed, isn't it? It's going to be a little bit tainted. Not going to believe the cop.
He disputes that Mr. Herrera was acting erratically. No one disputes that he was skipping backwards in the street. That's very strange behavior. Nobody disputes that it was almost simultaneous when Officer Villarreal directed or ordered Mr. Herrera to remove his hand from his pocket, that he started moving toward Officer Villarreal's car, and that he had his hand going up in an arcing motion. That's on the video. That's undisputable.
So if we take those facts, you're saying that as a matter of law, the shooting here was legal.
Yes, it was objectively reasonable. Well, not just those facts. Officer Villarreal knew that Mr. Herrera was a suspect in a domestic violence incident.
Right.
He knew that he had a gang affiliation, that he was on parole, that he had a warrant out for his arrest. All of those things factor into
on parole. I don't remember on parole. They said
on parole, yes, and there was a warrant out for his arrest.
What do we know about what Officer Villarreal knew with respect to whether he was armed?
We know that dispatch told Officer Villarreal and Officer Miali that Mr. Herrera was not known to be armed. But that's not the same thing as saying he wasn't armed. If they had gotten a call that said,
remember, this officer could have believed he was armed, and so
through dispatch,
he's known to not be armed, but now he could be.
It said he's not armed. We know for a fact that he's not armed. This case might be different, but they were told he's not known to be armed. His behavior certainly gave them reason to suspect that he might be armed.
Doesn't our opinion at Espinosa clearly favor, or somewhat favor, denial of qualified immunity under these circumstances? I don't know if you're familiar with Espinosa, but it seems to be.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't believe that I'm familiar with the Espinosa.
Well, in Espinosa, the suspect had refused to put up his hands, had threatened the officers, and an officer believed that she saw something in the suspect's hand, saw him move his arm, and was worried he was going to shoot her. But yet we affirmed the denial of qualified immunity in part because the suspect had not brandished a weapon or spoken of a weapon.
I do recall that case, Your Honor. Espinosa versus City and County of San Francisco.
Yes.
I think that one of the things that the court said in that case was that there was a dispute about the historic evidence. Some of the officers argued or said that one of the things that they believed gave them exigent circumstances to go into the house and go into the attic was the fact that they saw a bloody shirt. And some of the officers said it looked like fresh blood. Other officers said it looked like dried blood. And so whether or not there were exigent circumstances,
But here, the domestic violence incident was over.
Yes, and there.
So, I mean, how does that strengthen your case? I mean, that was, if you're arguing that it was an ongoing domestic violence, so.
It wasn't an ongoing domestic violence incident, but they were investigating. He was a suspect in a domestic violence incident in which it was reported that he hit somebody on the head. That was the purpose for stopping him. And at the time, they knew that he was on parole, that there was a warrant.
They killed him. And now listen to her go down this laundry list as though these are.
That was the purpose for stopping him. And at the time, they knew that he was on parole, that there was a warrant out for his arrest, that he had known gang affiliations. And all of those things factor into, am I afraid of this encounter, or do I think that this is going to be a perfectly safe encounter?
Of course they're afraid. Don't be stupid.
And everything that they observed, or a lot of the things that they observed, heightened the situation to a point where it was objectively reasonable for the officers. Nobody disputes that, for example, that it wasn't objectively reasonable for the officers to have their guns out. They were going to do a felony stop. Domestic violence under California law is a felony. So they had their guns out.
Felony stop. That has to come to an end. It's ruining our country. Felony stop.
There's some question about whether or not there were other alternatives available. Well, in the split second that decision had to be made, you couldn't put the gun down and pick up a baton. You couldn't put the gun down and pick up a taser, assuming that Officer Villarreal even had a taser. I think there's testimony in the record that he didn't have a taser available to him. He had to make a decision based solely on what he knew at the time. And it's easy for us to sit in hindsight and say, well, Mr. Herrera didn't have a gun. Mr. Herrera didn't really pose any
I don't think
threat.
anyone here said that one time.
No,
I think what we're focusing on, again, the narrow standard we have to deal with here. That's what we're dealing with. This is not a jury trial. This is not summary judgment. It's a very limited thing. No one here has raised about the fact he didn't have a gun.
I understand. The trial court did.
And that's not what we're doing right now. Again, this is not trial court part 2. This is a very limited inquiry, what we have to do here.
I understand, Your Honor. I'd like to reserve a minute and a half or so of my time, but I'd like to just briefly respond. The standard of review on qualified immunity, again, it allows for reasonable mistakes. And as long as the mistake was objectively reasonable, then Officer Villarreal is entitled to qualified immunity. I'd like to reserve the balance of my time.
Let's hear from the other side, and you will have some time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dale Gallipo, and I'm representing or speaking on behalf of the appellees and the plaintiffs in the underlying case. I think the comment made, a lot of the arguments we believe they're being made here are more appropriate for a jury. Because in this case, there are a host of undisputed facts that we actually think favor the finding of the district court judge. And there's other facts that I think are either disputed or they're entitled to different reasonable inferences. And as I think was pointed out, for this limited purpose of today's hearing, one has to take all the plaintiff's facts as true and all reasonable inferences in their favor.
Well, let's look at what's undisputed, because I think it's a really interesting question we have here. When we look at what's undisputed, Mr. Herrera, and I think you could say suspiciously, kept his hand in his pocket, and that the officers perceived a heavy object in that pocket. That's
first part, yes. Second part, a little less clear. But I think there's no question that he had his hand in his pocket.
Well, and both officers said it looked like he had something heavy in his pocket.
Okay.
All right. And then just before Mr. Villarreal opened fire, Mr. Herrera rapidly removed his hand and moved quickly, it seemed like, toward the officer's car. Why isn't that enough?
Well, because sticking on the undisputed facts,
Well, I mean, didn't we hear the other day the statistic that the Fraternal Order of Police guy said that 300 cops died that year, right? So how many people are coming from their pocket ready to have a shootout with the cops? It's not a lot. And when it is, you see it, someone covers it on a YouTube video and it gets 10 million views. We do see it. We see way more police abuse videos than we do cops having shootouts. That's a fact. We see more automobile chases than we do anything else. What is going on? Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'm just kind of chilling out with you guys here on Sunday for a little while. Thought I would watch a little bit of this with you. I wanted to watch it, but I wasn't really sure how far it would go. You know, pig. Someone couldn't say pig. Chevy, what's up, Playboy? I know he's out there listening. Dan Hanlon. Is Dan Hanlon here? Dan Hanlon. There's Dan Hanlon. What's the matter? You, Mountain Mover, Blake Moore, Shakur Capital, Brandy Swaney, Jeff Millman. Yeah, people are allowed to have their hands in their pockets. Like, it's just, I find it to be absolutely preposterous that's even a thing.
officers had no information that any weapon was involved in a crime. They were specifically told he was not known to carry weapons. He responded to a command. He was given a command. He has a hand in his pocket, and he was giving a command to take show his hands or take his hand out of his pocket. The officer was asked, what was your intention? I wanted him to take his hand out of his pocket. He took one reasonable inference again is he took his hand out of his pocket in compliance with the command of the officer. When he took his hand out of his
So we're at 16 minutes on this, because if he says pocket one more time, I'm gonna burst. But let's just jump into something real quick here.
I swear to God, don't fucking move. You move, I'm gonna blow your shit away. I swear to God. You got me fucked up. Turn around. Don't fucking move. I swear to God.
Put what away? What's the cop telling the person to put away? Their cell phone?
Don't fucking move. I swear to God, don't fucking move. You move, I'm gonna blow your shit away. I swear to God. You got me fucked up. Turn around. Don't fucking move. I swear to God, don't fucking move. You move, I'm gonna blow your shit away. I swear to God.
I keep on trying to see if that's a cop. That's a real cop. What the hell are we? That's a real cop doing that? That's a real cop putting a gun to a girl's head and screaming, "I'm gonna blow your shit away"? That's real? That's unbelievable. Thanks for sending that to me. That's unbelievable.
I swear to God. You got me fucked up. Turn around. Don't fucking move. I swear to God, don't fucking move.
And this other black lady is screaming at this girl to stop.
You move again, I'm gonna blow your shit away. I swear to
You move again, I'm gonna blow your shit away.
God.
I swear to God.
You got me fucked up.
You got me up.
Turn around.
What the hell? Let me see something here. Wow. This I don't I mean it's okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, so I got the link to the information here. Let me drop the link real quick over this right here, because that was morbid and twisted what we just saw. Video of police trainer teaching cops how to kill resurfaces online amid rise in police brutality. The video, which is originally from 2017, features ex-Army Ranger turned police trainer David Grossman saying killing is just not that big of a deal. Oh, this is something different. This isn't what we were looking for here. That is not what those are not the droids we were looking for. Those are not the droids we were looking for. That's not what I was trying to find at all. Totally sucks. But I think that this is, let me pop it into Google. Police officer tells woman, what happened to cop who told woman he will blow her shit away? Okay, so it's on Reddit from 2 months ago. Okay, so this is the same video we're watching now. But that's what he says. He says, I'm going to blow your shit away. That's what he says. I can't seem to find, because I've seen this video before. That's why I was like, is that real? And then I was like, no, it's real. You've seen, your brain's trying to, then it goes into, when I search here, it goes into Breonna Taylor stuff. You guys see what I'm seeing over there? Yeah, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. What is going on out there? Put it in the comments section. OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put it in the comments section. It's Sunday. It is Sunday. I've got to get back to work to doing what I was doing. But I wanted to jump on for an hour or so and spend a little time and kind of grease the wheels for Hendry. And hopefully that I'm going to send it off to a couple other people who are First Amendment auditors or reporters, and see if I can get them to share that GoFundMe of Craig Hendry's. Hopefully it can raise some money for him. says, I'll ask in the Facebook group for the question. I believe I saw it, but I didn't think it was at all offensive. It had nothing to do with Chili. Some people think Hendry is a piece of shit. That's not Chili's fault. So race banner, you know, you can dislike somebody all you want, but when somebody's in a dungeon, locked away in a dungeon, and there's no victim of any crime, you know, your personal feelings for whether or not you like their moral character or not doesn't have a lot of weight on it as far as whether that person should get help. And it's, you know, when someone's down, it's not polite to kick them, you know. I'm sure a lot of people don't like me, but you know, I got put in a dungeon myself, and a lot of people donated to me, and I'm going to forever try to pay that forward, because I can, like I said, forever try to pay that forward, because you can never pay it back. People to support you when you're down. I can never repay that in full. I owe. I'll always owe in to the pot. So I did what I could today to try to get the ball moving down the road, you know, but so, you know, and there's guys like Dan Hanlon. Dan Hanlon said, I took a screenshot, so when I get off work, I'll go to his GoFundMe page. Dan Hanlon is a working man. He's good to put a couple bucks in Hendry's fundraiser. There are people out there who are good people that understand that. I mean, I could ask Dan an answer for him. Hey, Dan, are you getting anything out of this? No. Then why are you doing it? To help another person. That's why I'm doing it, to help another person. That's why Dan Hanlon's doing it, to help another person who's getting railroaded by a system of injustice. And I think that's the most important thing. You know, hopefully, I really do hope that other auditors grab this and show it to their audience. And, you know, thanks, Danelle Brown, for jumping in 5 memberships. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. You know, it's thanks, Lou. Appreciate you coming, man. Thomas, thanks for coming. Justin, thanks for coming. Duwad, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's his fundraiser is right here. Let me give you the link to the fundraiser. I believe I have that tab. I have so many. I mean, do you have so many tabs open? Do you have so many tabs? Oh, I have it right here. I have so many tabs open. So here is the link. We're at $450. We're, you know, $450 to start this guy's fundraiser. And here's the link right here. I'll put it in the chat. And that's set up by his girlfriend. So their bank account and their banking attaches to it. So there's the link. There's the GoFundMe right there. It's in the chat. And now people can donate directly to Craig Hendry, and hopefully that helps him with whatever money he needs to use that money for, you know. I think I just recently unblocked you, Race Banner. I saw you in the blocked list back there. So I unblocked you, and I've asked the moderators not to block anybody unless they're just a major fucking asshole. And there are some major assholes, you know. But people are going to take shots at me forever because I am. It's a good time. So I've asked the mods to take it easy on timing people out and blocking people. You know, I understand we can't let it grow. It's like an infestation once it starts of just stinky skank. So hopefully you're not. Hopefully you're a supporter. You know. Oh, nice job, man. Thanks, Interdimensional Cat. Thanks, Gail. I appreciate that. Yeah, I put in 100 too, and I don't really have 100 right now, but I did anyway because, man, people helped me out when I was down. And so I'll have to cut some corners here, you know, eat out less, you know, I absolutely love you guys. I really do. I've got to get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.